penultimate stage of the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve here in Montreal in Canada sets the background for what could be an interesting moment in this season of the Sim Racing for Simpletons Super Formula League, live and direct on the JP Broadcasting Network. Hello, everybody, and welcome along to the show. We have got an interesting 30-lap race around this 4.3-kilometre circuit that has been in use since October of 1978. You join myself, Alex Goldschmidt, and James Parfitt for what is the penultimate race of this 9-round calendar. But last time out, we headed to the Hockenheim ring. So let's have a look at what took place and how things actually ended up in terms of the race results themselves. It was the fact that Gabriel Hopp took the win after that particular adventure. And more to the point, it is the case of he now really has got a bit of a title run coming his way. And more to the point, it was the case that he managed to stay ahead of Kostek Soloway, who took second position. Felipe Sarkis rounded out the top three. Jeff Groff and Leo Delmas rounded out your top five, with Carson Keane finishing ahead of the man that has led the championship for the majority of the season, JT Smeaton. And Frankie Brzezowski not here tonight, but still finished 8th last time out, ahead of Anthony Zitch and Josh Benjamin, who rounded out your top 10. Christian Jasper, Sergei Porok rounded out the 12 finishers, finishing a lap down, with the likes of Elliot Court, Christopher Sears, Elliot Rolls, Joao de Gregorio, and Jace Mayer, unfortunately, ending their races very, very early, which now means, looking at the Driver Championship standings after the previous round, we have got a real title battle on our hands. JT Smeaton leads on 151 points ahead of Gabriel Hopp, who is just 2 points adrift. Kostek Soloway rounds out the top three, ahead of Elliot Court. Jeff Groff, Adam Merchant, Frankie Brzezowski, and Chris Sears round out the top 8. Joao de Gregorio and Christian Jasper round out your top 10. When it comes to the Simpleton Cup standings, tied on points racing still have a lead, but it's now down to 32 points ahead of FNG Racing, who managed to get a big amount of points last time out at Hockenheim just this past week. Go Squadra, DDK Racing will look to move up the order because they did not really score anything last week to the point where they needed to be up the order. They round out the top 4. SR4S, Kimato Racing, Turn 1 Survivors, DFYRS Racing Team, Beyond Beautiful Lads, and Halo Tracks Toyota round out the top 10. We're into the final 2 minutes of this penultimate qualifying session of the season. And James Parfitt, welcome back in the booth. It's good to have you around for some more Sim Racing for Simpletons action.
Yeah, looking forward to this one after the dramas of Hockenheim and JT Smeaton dropping it on the final lap right near the end as well. It was a little bit dramatic, but it has led us to have a great championship fight, and these two are topping the standings at qualifying at the moment. It's got about a minute to go. You can see the times on the left-hand side there. Not a lot between them at all. 1:17.866 for Smeaton, 1:17.887 for Hopp, and Kostek Soloway, of course, in third, with Adam Merchant in fourth. So still to play for, it's going to be an interesting run-in. Looking forward to seeing how these guys get on, and that championship is looking very, very spicy indeed.
JT Smeaton now improves further still and puts in a 1:17.765 on that lap, but also gets a slowdown penalty, which he's only going to serve in this session. But the majority of the field have done their respective laps here in qualifying. Felipe Sarkis also improves on lap time, stays 11th as we come into the final 40 seconds of the session. Carson Keane not having set a lap time, neither has Dakota Demaged either. Well, Dakota has just set a lap time of 1:20.258. More to the point, these laps will go by very, very quickly here in Canada. Of course, we'll see speeds approaching probably the best part of over 190 miles an hour. Of course, the famed Wall of Champions at turns 13 and 14 could catch a few drivers out as they come out of turn 10 at the hairpin and then go full throttle. We're riding on board with the Torta Racing number 78 of Josh Benjamin as we're down the back straightaway. He's keeping very close to the wall on the left-hand side, but that concludes the session And once again, JT Smeaton has got himself pointing in the right direction. But here is your starting grid ahead of our penultimate race out of 9 for this season of Sim Racing for Simpletons. It is going to be JT Smeaton and title rival Gabriel Hopp on the front row. Kostek Soloway and Adam Merchant on row 2. Elliot Court and Jeff Groff rounding out the row 3. Chris Sears, Joshua Benjamin, Leo Dalmas and Christian Jasper rounding out the top 10. Felipe Sarkis and Anthony Zich round out the top 12. Sergei Podok is going to start in 13th, head of Dakota Damaged, and Dr. Carson Keane, who has not set a lap time and has probably opted for a very shrewd strategy. And what I mean by that is wait for the carnage to unfold in front and then make your way through nice and neatly. And of course, with this series, using the Super Formula cars, there will be the good old push to pass, a maximum deployment of 200 seconds per driver per race, and after every deployment it is going to be a 90-second recycle so that they can then have a further deployment. And with lap times of around about 1 minute 18 around this 2.7 mile 14 turn circuit, they're going to have to wait for probably the best part of just over a lap before they can go at it again with that deployment, using it as an attacking or defensive countermeasure.
Absolutely. I 100% agree with you. It's going to be very interesting indeed. See who's going to be able to tactically use it, or nobody going to use it, and we're going to have it running like we did at the end of the race last time out. Who knows?
Indeed. Well, Carson Keane yet to ready up on the grid. He hasn't got long to do so, but the 2-litre inline 4-cylinder turbocharged engines in the middle of these Super Formula cars, producing around about 500 brake horsepower, are running on idle at the moment. And when the revs start to rise, here we go, the 5 lights are about to rise here onto the gantry. 5 lights are on, and round 8 of SR4S this season gets underway. A good start by JT Smeaton, nearly gets caught in the crossover by Gabriel Hopp as Kostek Soloway and Adam Merchant's just lost the back end, and he's going to get collected. Oh no, and that was I think, well, you had Dakota Damaged in that sort of slight McLaren-esque livery. Jeff Groff is going to have to serve a slowdown penalty. Black flag for Adam Merchant and Chris Sears as Gabriel Hopp.
Yeah, looks like these guys are going to be in for a little bit of a battle as we go on the run through turn 8 and 9 and then down into the hairpin for turn 10. It's going to be very interesting indeed here, Alex. I think these guys are going to be putting up a little bit of a battle. I'm going to be interested to see how this one pans out and whether or not Gabriel Hopp or JT Smeaton come out on top. It's going to be very interesting. At the moment, we'll have a look back at that incident with Adam Merchant right now. You see as he pulls away, Merchant in the middle. Him and Kostek Soloway, big dose of old internet, www.bang, and unfortunately, across he goes into, I believe it might be Chris Sears at that point as well. So very, very interesting indeed. Looking like a race and a half developing between Porok and Benjamin further down. But JT Smeaton escaping up the road, and there is Porok having a good old go with Benjamin at this moment in time. So seeing how these guys get on, going to be very interesting. Okay, it does look like we've just lost Alex for a brief second. Hopefully we'll be able to get that sorted out, and we'll figure out what went on there as well. But Chris is out, Carson Keane out, Adam Merchant with the it's got to basically damaged. He's got to go in pit lane. Meatball flag. Gabriel Hopp and Kostek Soloway both got slowdowns as well, and they've got to get them off before, of course, they end up with a black flag and into pit lane. It's going to be not good for them. Elliot Court sat in 4th place at this moment in time. He's battling away with the guys in front, seeing how they're going to get on, whether or not this is going to work, whether or not this is not going to work. But Elliot Court from DDK TH Jordan into the final couple of chicanes there as well. Oh, hits the wall, manages to get away with it, I think. but there's been a couple of people in the effect of damage. This is, again, the incident at the beginning that caused this drama. And unfortunately, there was a lot of people involved in this. Leo Dalmas was the one as well. He got caught up. Bang, straight there. Nowhere to go. I am interested to know what happened to Carson Keane, though. I don't think he actually took to the start of the race. And unfortunately, he's jumped back into, well, he's out at the moment, so I'm not quite sure what happened to Carson Keane now. I think we've got Alex back. Alex, are you back? Ooh, not at the moment. Not at the moment. Can't hear him quite at the moment as Benjamin and Porok still battle away. Christian Jasper in behind it as well. You know what that logo means on that halo. Well, clearly watched the podcast with myself and Christian as we're on the run down into the hairpin, the right hand, and now Christian hard on the brakes, nearly ends up into the back of Jeff Groff. Well, it wasn't, it was Benjamin at the time, and Groff's now gone through there. So I think he's back now in the booth. Alex, are you back?
I am indeed. Sorry about that. Router troubles my side, folks. So, but I'm back and I can see exactly what's going on. And a bit of a shame there for Christian Jasper. He got himself caught a bit unawares, didn't he? Yeah,
it was a very, very late break-in, and unfortunately just come up behind him and, well, just managed to miss him, which was absolutely outstanding there as well. But at the moment, JT Smeaton and Gabriel Hopp with Caustic Soloway. JT out in front by 3 seconds, Alex, at the moment. He's flying.
Yeah, I mean, again, it just goes to show that when JT Smeaton is on it, he's all over it like a car bonnet. And at the moment, well, Gabriel Hopp is he's flirting with a bit of disaster possibly, because if he keeps any closer to that wall, he'll have less than 4 wheels on that wagon. He'll have 3 of them. But at least the good thing is, Gabriel is trying to keep Kostek at bay. The gap between them 0.8 of a second. Sergei Podok has just got a slow down penalty, so that's going to mean that Jeff Groff's going to go around the outside of him into the hairpin, get the inside line, and Jeff Groff retakes 7th position. But again, with these laps, they're going to go past so rapidly here in Montreal. So you can see that Jeff is already on the push to pass 180 seconds, and now he gets rid of the deployment because he now knows, oh, I've got over a lap to wait until I can use that again.
Yeah, I'm not really quite sure where the best place is to use it. I think it is coming out the hairpin, coming up from there. Christian Jasper and Sergei Porok just swapping places. Christian's got the inside line. Is he going to be able to hold it around the outside of turn 2 here? He isn't. Porok's managed to get him there as well. Groff is crawling all over Benjamin further up, and at the moment the Ghost Squadra Destino Motorsports are having a bit of a battle here, and Christian Jasper climbing all over the back of Sergei Porok. Going to be interesting to see what goes on with them.
Yeah, it is a bit of a cat and mouse game of speed, acceleration, and having a set of big old cojones when you hit the brakes, especially going down into the hairpin at turn 10. So you've got to really have your A game here at Canada, because one wrong move, as we've already seen, you know, with Christian Jasper, he's been nearly on the receiving end of going into the barriers. But he was 2 wheels on the grass. He's closing into Sergei Podok. He dives to the inside at the hairpin. Podok nearly clashes wheels with him, but has to open up the steering, gets the traction down, and now they both may be able to deploy their push to pass. If it starts flashing rapidly, they are using it. If it's flashing intermittently, the system's still recharging.
Yeah, Porok's on his, and it doesn't look like Jasper's on his as of yet. Oh, they're trying to too wide. Oh!
Jasper's got 3 wheels on the wagon, and he's got no rear wing. That's it.
Why would they do that?
Oh, we got hit by Anthony Zitch, who's got... I
don't think Zitch was expecting him to be there. That's the problem.
Well, I think Podok should have... well, Podok maybe could have straight lined that chicane. Yes, it would have given him an off-track, but... that it would have given Jasper room to actually not have to dive bomb on that curbing, and then Anthony Zitch just completely unsighted. That car is going to be understeering like nobody's business, and well, Christian Jasper now in the pit lane, and Anthony Zitch has got basically no front aero, so that is going to cause him massive understeer.
Jasper's in pit lane with a meatball. I think Zich ain't going to be too far behind, to be blatantly honest. He can't get that car rotated. I think he's going to be in and done and dusted. Whether or not Jasper's going to come out after that is going to be very, very interesting. But that puts a few drivers out. That spreads the field out a little bit more as well. Joshua Benjamin, probably one of the closest men on the move at the moment. He's got Groff in behind him, and he's got Sarkis up the road. If he keeps being slow through there, it ain't going to be very long before he's going to have Groff up his rear end, and he's going to be closer to Groff than he is to Sarkis. He's got to be a little bit careful here.
All drivers have got to be really, really careful coming out of the final corner through turn 14, because if you go wide coming out of there, as we've just seen with Christian Jasper, as Anthony Zich, has brought his car into pit lane to effect repairs after rear-ending Jasper coming out of the final corner. But Felipe Sarkis, of course, having a really, really good run last time out at Hockenheim. That confidence has come in to the number 333 here in Canada. And you can just see you've got to be so minute with regards to your adjustments on the steering and also on the accelerator and the brakes here at Canada. So, I mean, Chris is obviously, that's a real shame for Chris, because he's also shown some flashes of brilliance this season, but Canada takes no prisoners.
No, it definitely doesn't. It's got to be, you've got to be so smooth, it's so flowing circuit, you've got to be on it all the time, and you make sure you can get through it as much as possible. You know, is it my favorite circuit? No, but it is what it is, and these guys have got to do it. And that final corner is a heck of a corner when you get it wrong, but I can tell you what, it feels great when you get it right.
Yeah, also just looking at the amount of push to passes that have been used, Adam Merchant hasn't used any, Leo Delmas hasn't used any, neither has race leader JT Smeaton. I mean, Smeaton's in clear air. He doesn't need to go 10 tenths. All he needs to do is stay ahead of Gabriel Hopp, and he'll be one step away of getting the Drivers' Championship next time out, 1 week from now in Suzuka. And of course, that's going to be a tough affair. You know, grade 1, figure of 8 circuit, elevation changes, camber changes, whereas here, the circuit at Montreal is pretty much as flat as a pancake in comparison. So it's one of those tracks where if you love your speed, you love accelerating out of corners, hard braking zones, this is the circuit for you. As Felipe Sarkis has got Josh Benjamin trying to catch him at the moment. I mean, Benjamin's now, what, 1.1 seconds behind as they come out of the out of turn 10, and Benjamin not able to use his push to pass. Sarkis, I don't think, is using it either. It's very, very difficult at times, as Gabriel Hopp, who is really starting to try and close that gap, 2.7 seconds between him and JT Smeaton, has just set the fastest lap of the race at 1 minute 18.734. So that is basically 7/100ths quicker than Smeaton. But Smeaton is just calmly and coolly getting on with the business at hand, not putting any feet wrong, making sure that he's smooth around this circuit. And that's one of the things you've got to be here in Canada. As I said, it's all about those millimeters, those centimeters of runoff area that you've got to use to your full advantage. And Smeaton is just like a happy camper at the moment, isn't he?
Yeah, he doesn't really have to do a lot. I think a lot of what he's doing is managing the gap. Oh, Anthony Zich has got a meatball. Oh, Anthony Zich has been off the circuit. Oh,
all the champions. All the champions.
Yeah, Anthony Zich is that hard. In fact, I'm going to go and cheekily rewind that, because that's almost very impressive in its own right for Anthony Zich. And he's just gone and absolutely thumped that wall. Comes through. What is he at the? Oh, he hit the sausage. Yeah, yeeted himself on the way in.
Yeets himself on the way out. Poor old Anthony. We're giving him a bit of a grin, but no, the right side absolutely destroyed. Yeah. I mean, that's when you go to Yeatsville on that final chicane, and it's on both curbs, and yeah, that's not helped him at all. So that car's going to be there in for quite a lengthy spell. I mean, Christian Jasper, when he had his incident through that same point, he was in the pit lane for over 2 minutes and 50 seconds. So I would expect the same amount of time that Anthony's going to be in the pit lane as well. And that's not going to help him. Meantime, Joshua Benjamin has been getting on with the business at hand, and he's closed the gap to Felipe Sarkis, and that is now coming down 7.5 tenths of a second between the 333 and the 78. And Benjamin looks really, really fired up in the Tortoise Racing number 78. Let's not forget he started in 8th position. Felipe Sarkis started in 11th, and along with Dakota Demage and Sergei Podok, between the three of them, they have made up a total of 16 places, Sarkis having done 6 of them.
Yeah, great job there as well. There's a lot of people, you know, Podok up 5, Dakota Demage up 5, Benjamin up 2, Sarkis, as you said, 6, and caught up 1.
Benjamin just got a slow down. Yeah, Benjamin just got a slow down penalty. He nearly did an Anthony Zitch.
Yeah, did you not see that?
Oh, mate, I saw that, and it was like he's just lost all that time, which is effectively 3 seconds. He's lost about, what was it, 2.5 seconds, and that has put him behind Jeff Groff. Sergei Podok has now got a slow down penalty, and it's going to be that. Oh, that's a wicked camera angle there, where you can just see the cars just absolutely fly by the wall, and see how close their bravery is. Elliot Court has just got a slow down penalty as well. So we're getting into that second third of the race here, JP, where mistakes could be more liable to happen if you throw caution to the wind.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think too many people are going to want to try that, but they've also got to be very, very careful indeed. Sergei Podok has just had a bit of a drama here, but I'm not quite sure if he's gone. He might have gone in. Oh, yeah, he's got in well hot, across the grass, bang, 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 and then round goes the car for Sergei Podok. That is him down into 8th.
Gabriel Hops had a slow down penalty as Joshua Benjamin now chasing down Jeff Groff, and comes out of the final chicane. This time, no slow down penalty, and is getting that gap down to, or getting it closer and closer to around 8 to 9 tenths, being the differential between the pair. And again, it's that, we were talking about this earlier, weren't we? The push to pass, you know, I've got to wait 90 seconds. How long? For a deployment, you know, and then here it's nearly a lap and a quarter round here, so you could be on it for 1 lap and then find that, oh, and Josh Benjamin has just lost it. Not what you want to do at turn 6.
Well, definitely not there. And unfortunately for Josh Benjamin, we see it live. What did he actually do? He got very, very close to the wall, and unfortunately just went in a little bit too hot. Bit of rough and gravel on the track, and then goes around, unfortunately for him as well. But the car's getting very spread out. Anthony Zitch is in pit lane. He's got a meatball, but let's not forget he had to use his fast repair already due to the fact that obviously he hit Christian Jasper up the bottom. So he then has to now go and wait again to get the repairs done.
It's more than a long wait. I think for Anthony Zitch, it's going to be an eternity, and it might cause him to maybe pull the trigger and decide not to carry on with the race, because that car's been under repair for 4 3/4 minutes and climbing. So, yeah, it's going to be a tough one to make that call. But if I was in Anthony Zitch's position, I would probably say, well, look at how much damage there's going to be, and if it's like 15 or 20 minutes, then that's it, game over. And it's not easy when you've got to make that call, because you could still go out there and somebody else has the same problem and ends up having 15-20 minutes worth of damage, because that was a big old hit that Anthony had when he went over that chicane. I mean, it was more destruction to that car than what happened to Christian Jasper at that same point, as Adam Merchant just puts in the fastest lap of the race. JT Smeaton's teammate, a 1 minute 18.561. But Joshua Benjamin, after that spin, has lost a big amount of time, the best part of over 3 seconds. Well, it looks like the tied on points boys are exchanging fastest laps, as JT Smeaton puts in a 1:18.404 as we are nearly at half time here in the race.
Yeah, but again, just got to make sure that he can get to the end. That is it for JT. Doesn't really have to do anything else. mate, you can just sit and chill, you know, go and get a Big Mac or something on the way through. One man that isn't going to be able to sit and chill at the moment is Felipe Sarkis. He's got he's got Jeff Groff coming at him at an absolute rate of knots as well. Needs to be a little bit careful. There's be a battle to develop in here.
Yeah, I mean, this is what would have been the Benjamin Sarkis battle, but Benjamin, 2 mistakes from him, one coming out of the final corner and one coming through turn 6, meant that he has lost a bag full of time. But again, as we always tend to see here, whenever it's any league running Super Formulas, a lot of drivers will hold on to that push to pass, and we're probably going to see for the last 3 laps around here at Canada that a lot of them will be on that push to pass right up until the end of the race. But Groff's got that gap down a little bit more now. It's down to just under 7.5 tenths of a second and closing rapidly. So Sarkis has got to watch his 6 as they go through into the final chicane at turns 13 and 14. Nice and neat and tidy by Jeff Groff there. So kept the speed going through, didn't go too vicariously over the curbs, and that gap is now 4 tenths of a second. Adam Merchant gets a slowdown penalty for track limits infringement. And now here comes Jeff Groff as Felipe Sarkis is going to have to make the 333 wider than an articulated lorry on the M25.
Yeah, it's saving grace is the track isn't wide. It's saving graces is the track is quite tight. So he can still make that quite a wide car without, I'm going to say without making it wide, but you'll see what I mean. There's only one real area that this overtake can get done, and that's the run out the hairpin down in the into the Wall of Champions, right? That's probably the main thing. Anywhere, as we've seen already, past the Wall of Champions can get a little bit hairy and scary. Past Christian Jasper, of course, on that one. Through the hairpin we go, but if you have a look now, this is the only real place that Sarkis can defend on this and basically make sure that he doesn't get any issues with his overtake. However, Jeff Groff is on push to pass, so is Sarkis, and Sarkis is using it to defend more than he is to attack at the moment.
Yeah, you can see that Groff has got about 30 to 40 more seconds of deployment available, and he's still holding on to it. Down the start-finish stretch they go. Jeff Groff is going to put it to the outside and now gets the inside line for turn number 1, and he gets through. But is he going to run a little bit deep? He's still on the push to pass. You can see the light over the airbox flashing all the while. So Jeff Groff gets through on Felipe Sarkis, and now will have disengaged the push to pass, or as the Japanese would say, the OTS system, overtake system, but we know as it has push to pass on iRacing generally. But Felipe Sarkis still keeping within striking distance of Jeff Groff, and now he's got to try and do the reverse to Jeff Groff of what that man did to him just now. Yeah,
but the problem is Groff caught him, overtook him, and I feel like he's got the speed to pull away from him. So, although I'd love to see Sarkis come back at him, it's going to be a bit of a mission. But him and Groff at the moment, I think they're both harvesting, so neither of them can go on their push to pass. So they're both just going to be sitting there relying on it. Sarkis is, yeah, he's harvesting, and Groff is still waiting for his to come active as well. And a 1:18.2 by Gabriel Hopp, 6.4 seconds away from JT Smeaton, though. Not really going to be quick enough, and as you can see, Sarkis and Groff as well though.
One of the things you can actually hear is the pops and bangs from the exhaust as they go down the gearbox in these 2-litre inline 4-cylinder turbocharged Super Formula cars, producing around about just over 500 brake horsepower. They get about an extra 50 to 60 brake horsepower through the deployment of the push to pass system. But Sergei Podok now sets the personal best and is 2.5 seconds ahead of Dakota Damaged in 9th place at the moment. So at the minute, this is the closest battle out on the track. But JT Smeaton is comfortable at the front end of the field, but it is at this point when you can say realistically it is JT Smeaton's race to lose. And anyone who's at the front end of the field with that big of an advantage, you know, it's about driving within your limits. Don't falter. Don't make a mistake. And as we get into the last few, and as I say that, Gabriel Hopp, you've just had your fastest lap stolen away from you. Well done, JT Smeaton, as Felipe Sark is back on the push to pass again. But that was only for a brief moment. It started harvesting as he goes through into turn 14. Oh, and someone has had a big moment into the wall, and that was Elliot Court, who was running 4th. Oh dear. And that's Wall of Champions again. Wall of Champions has claimed another victim.
Yeah, I'm going to go back and have a look. I know it's not an ideal way, but unfortunately, get a good look at what happened there. Oh, well, blinked. So I can't get a good look on what happened, but he hit the wall anyway.
I think just judging by the entry point, the car just like literally went straight into the wall, and the right front took the brunt of it. So that means that the DDK driver, who I think has just called time on that. Yes, looks like Elliot Court has decided, well, there's too much damage. I'm not going to be able to carry on with the race, as we have got 12 laps to go, including this one. We're on lap 19 out of 30, so we're about nearly 2/3 distance of the way through the race. And now the battle for Jeff Groff and Felipe Sarkis becomes the battle for P4. There's Josh Benjamin, who in the meantime has slowly but surely tried to close on in, but with this being a very, very short circuit, you know, the best part of nearly 4.4 kilometers. With Suzuka next time, it's about 5.7 kilometers, with a lot more corners, a lot more braking zones to boot, and a lot of passing opportunities, if you will. But here at Canada, it is just, it's about survival. It's about getting to the end of this race, and that's the key crucial point here.
Absolutely, I agree 100%. Got to keep it out of the wall. That would be a good start. Keep it on the racetrack. That's always a good start as well. And then make sure you can get it to the end. That's what some of these guys are managing here as well. The ones that are on their game places. Of course, Sarkis up 6, Benjamin 2, Bog 6, Dakota 6, Groff 2. So all the people that gained, the ones that are still out on the racetrack. So fair play to them. Obviously, with the ones that haven't, you can see it on the left-hand side, are either out or, oh, well, there ain't. Or made a mistake right at the beginning, like Adam Merchant and struggling to catch up.
Yeah, who took the fastest lap back again, and then JT. It's like the Chuckle Brothers, isn't it? To me, to you, to me, to you, between the title on points, boys. So JT Smeaton has now got the fastest lap of the race back in his pocket. 1:18.067, but that turn 14, that Wall of Champions, has claimed a good couple of victims, including now Elliot Court, who has retired as of lap number 16 out of 30. So, and I can see the strategy here between JT and Adam, because what JT needs, he's got a wingman in this. So Adam Merchant, if he spots that Gabriel Hopp has put in the fastest lap of the race, well, that's an additional point to his tally. And at the moment, JT Smeaton is on course for what will be, I think, 32 points. So it's a point for pole position, point for fastest lap, and 30 points for the win. So if Gabriel Hopp is running quicker than JT Smeaton, then Adam Merchant straight away will be looking at it and go, right, okay, I've got to get this. I've got to get this point, because if JT can't have it, then it's best that it comes my way rather than Gabriel's.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you might be right, but I've got a funny feeling though. Are they really going to be catching JT at this point? Look at how far he is. Look how far he had. Then he got 9 laps, and I just don't see any. Then again, look what happened in Hockenheim. So.
Spa as well, because he lost it at the bus stop.
Yeah, he's got to get it over the line, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly. He's got to make sure that the last lap is absolutely perfect and make no unforced errors. And we don't want to see him doing an anti-zitch going through the chicane down after the casino straight down into turns 13 and 14. And what we're seeing is that some drivers are being very, very mindful. They're braking a little bit earlier, going down into turn 13, which means that they can actually navigate the curves a little bit easier. And let's just see how JT approaches it on this particular occasion as we're about to complete lap 21 out of 30. Bumps over the curbs on turn 13, but then that's able to allow him to set it up for 14 without really hitting the inside curb at all.
Yeah, if I was JT, I wouldn't touch any of them. Like right now, them sausage curbs, I would just leave them well alone. I wouldn't go near them, I wouldn't touch them, I wouldn't do anything with them, apart from literally just leave them alone. Just, you know, because we've seen them bounce. Look at what they did. You know, they bounced Anthony Zitch, you know, Christian Jasper, it's just not worth it. So,
no.
Just go in there, you've got 7 seconds, you've got 8 laps to go and chill. Chill and cruise, that's all I would do.
Yeah, and he's opening up the gap over Gabriel Hopp to what is now 7.3 seconds. Adam Merchant again has now got the fastest lap of the race back, 1 minute 17.948. First driver in this race session to go under 1 minute 18 as JT Smeaton comes out of lip angle or the hairpin at turn 10 and is at full throttle going up the gearbox up to 6th gear. And Gabriel Hopp now makes his way out of the hairpin. And
no answer for him, Alex, has he?
No, he just hasn't. I mean, the thing is, because of the harvesting of the push-to-pass system, and it is really putting a lot of... Oh, and Gabriel Hopp has just clipped the tyre wall. He clipped the tyre wall. Did you see that? The right rear and the wing went a goodbye, and then it went hello again. And I was like thinking, hang on a second, unless that's a little bit of net code. But... yeah.
Be a little bit careful.
Yeah.
I think the thing is, it's really hard because I know he wants to push and I understand that, but realistically, banking the points and saving them next week, probably better than doing anything ridiculous and it's a fall. Him and JT are both in the same place. They've both pulled away from Soloway, Graf, Sarkis, Benjamin, Porak, Damage, Dalmas, Merchant, Jasper. They've all pulled away from them. So don't do anything stupid. Do something stupid. Everything you're like in current position to earn goes out the window. And why throw it away when you're sitting second in the championship, 1 point behind? I just don't see the point in it. Maybe that's just my non-racing ability, but I don't see the point in that.
No, I think with regards to it, it is going to be the case that, you know, it's 24 points for second position. And JT Smeaton, if he picks up the full complement, that's going to put him on 183 points for next week's finale. For Gabriel Hopp, that'll put him on, I think, 173. So effectively, Gabriel Hopp needs to go for the victory, get the full maximum complement of points, and will need JT Smeaton to finish third or lower for him to win this title. And that's going to be a tall order at Suzuka. At Suzuka, we think, you know, some people say, oh yeah, Canada's a difficult circuit. Suzuka, if you get it wrong there, especially if you go side by side through 130R and you're the person on the outside, grit your teeth, brace yourself, and then wait to see what happens if you get collected.
I think for me, you know, maybe Gabriel's going on and it's going to be a Prost Senna moment into Casio, you know what I mean? Or down into turn 1, it's going to be all fireworks and sparks, and JT's there like, yeah, if I can't win, you're not having it. And or it might just be that they drive around and somebody takes a win, of course, you know, they're going to purposely go and hit each other. But, no, you know, for us, though, that would be a great, that would be a great experience, wouldn't it, of reliving an iconic moment in F1 Motorsports. The JT and Gabriel Hopp going down into turn 1 and ended off straight off. Do you know what I mean? That would be amazing. Yeah, I would love
that. Then in our heads, we'd hear the inner Monterey Walker going, and it's happened immediately. You know, that kind of thing. Yeah. But it is going to be the case of whoever wins at Suzuka out of JT Smeaton or Gabriel Hopp will become the champion. but it depends on how the rest of the race pans out. Now, we have seen a couple of chinks, like we were talking about in JT Smeaton's armour. You know, the Hockenheim last time out, dropping it on the last lap. Spa dropping it on the last lap at the bus stop of all places. So he's got to make sure that if he picks up the win here, it's going to be a 9-point advantage he'll have, because he has got fastest lap, he has got pole position, he is on course for a full 30 points for the race win. And Gabriel is going to be smarting a little bit, because it will be the case, it'll be 9-10 points advantage, and JT Smeaton puts the fastest lap of the race in again, a 1:17.811, as we're now on 5 laps to go, including this, as we're on lap 26 out of 30. It has been the JT Smeaton show here in the land of the Maple Leaf, and no one, not even Gabriel Hop, has gotten close to put the frighteners up him.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's nothing there, is there? Dalmas at the moment is getting closer to Dakota, but that's about as close as the battles are going to be. Dakota's getting a little bit closer to Sergei Podolak, but not by much. But this is the situation we've got further down here. These guys still battling it out, still fighting for what they can get. Gabriel Hop's got a slow down. That's not going to help him. Leo Dalmas takes that final chicane in a very different way, hence he's just lost about 4 tenths on that one chicane alone. But he has been closing on Dakota for the last few laps here.
Yeah, I did notice that Leo Dalmas actually lifted off the throttle going through turn 14, just so at least he didn't have to apply the power too early coming out of the corner, and that could have, you know, if you lift off and then you try to accelerate out of the final corner here at Canada, you can get a bit of over rotation as in the tyres spin up, spool up, and then the back axle is going to want to go sideways one way or the other, and then the thing that you find is that your car's in the barriers, and that's exactly what Leo Dalmas is trying to avoid whilst trying to close in on Dakota. But the gap now between 8th and 9th is extended to 1.5 seconds, but Adam Merchant, JT Smeaton's teammate, is closing in on Dalmas in the number 31. So we are counting down the laps. Very, very shortly we will be going on to our second from last lap. So lap 28 very shortly will be started by JT Smeaton. And after that slowdown penalty, Gabriel Hop is now 11.2 seconds back. As again, Leo Dalmas nice and neat through that second part of the final chicane. But that is now bringing him into the clutches of Adam Merchant, who's just put in the fastest lap of the race, 1:17.750. Merchant looking for the over-under here on Dalmas, coming out of turn number 2. But the Frenchman still makes the back end as wide as humanly possible into turns 3 and 4. And then through the slight kink here at 5, Smeaton retaliates with the fastest lap of his own, 1:17.709. 3 laps to go until the checkered. Dalmas is having to scurry about to try and block Merchant at every opportunity, and goes off onto the grass, keeps out of the way, didn't really want to fight Merchant and just lets him through.
No point.
Yeah.
No point. That would have been just a fruitful exercise of trying to put yourself up against, you know, it's like me trying to race Max. It's just pointless. You know what I mean? He's going to get past me eventually. I might as well just not bother trying to slow him or anybody else down. Just take what I can get and get some track time, and that's what Dalmas did, and I think that's the right thing to do. But JT Smeaton here, he has got 1 more before he's at the end. You can still see there he had a 186 second CTP.
That's going to be obliterated by the time we get to the end of our 30th and final lap, as JT Smeaton at full speed. We'll probably now go through into turns 13 and 14, still on the push to pass. Nearly brushes against the wall of champions with the right sidewalls of his Super Formula car into turn number 1, and that's another new fastest lap, 1:17.289 by the number 45 from Tied on Points Racing. And through out of turn 2, and his lead over Gabriel Hopp now expands to 12.2 seconds. He's still on that push to pass. He's ringing the neck of the car now to expand that lead as wide as humanly possible. He's still got about about 2 minutes of that push to pass. Yeah,
yeah, 1 minute, 2 minutes.
Yeah, 2 minutes and 10 seconds. So effectively, that is going to be the best part of 2 laps as JT Smeaton hustles his way through out of turns 8 and 9, and now it's up to the hairpin down the gearbox into first gear. As Dakota Demage just, yeah, no, that wasn't. There was Demage.
No, watch. They were involved together there.
Oh, Merchant, what's he done here?
I think Demage has gone through and then just caught Merchant in it, and Merchant's just got to sit there, and Dalmas says, thanks very much, I'll just go and take both of you.
And Dakota tries to do a 3-point turn. Right, yeah. White flag is out. JT Smeaton on the 30th and final lap of this race. Now comes out of turn 2 for the final time. Now the big thing is, he is still on the push to pass, and very shortly, yeah, that's going to bring him, he'll be on the push to pass coming across the line. So JT Smeaton, as always, times things pretty well, but he's making sure that this car is not wayward or out of control, and that's quite comforting to see as he's on the push to pass down towards turn 8, underneath the bridge, over the chicane, bumping over the curbs. But what a performance has been for this man from the USA in the number 45, tied on points entry into the hairpin for the final time, and then he's going to light up the rear tyres, not drop any 11s, as this is going to bring him to the checkered flag. JT Smeaton has led every single lap in this race, and for the last 2.5 laps has been on the push to pass all the way. And now through the final couple of corners, through turn 4, 13 and 14, JT Smeaton, 1 win here, now takes him to victory here at Canada, and it puts him ahead of Gabriel Hopp, who will be his only main rival going into the Suzuka season finale next week. Gabriel Hopp will cross the line, the winning margin, 12.3 seconds, and Kostek Soloway will cross the line 6 seconds back, will take P3. As Joshua Benjamin and Felipe Sarkis, Benjamin round the outside of the hairpin, and this is the battle for P5. And no push to pass. It's the full deployment's been used by Benjamin. Sarkis is trying to, yeah, he's like literally 8, 7, 6. And what about Sarkis? Has he used up all of his? He hasn't got any left. And Jeff Groff is going to take P4. Josh Benjamin will take P5 at the line as it's a drag race. Sarkis, will he get the launch along the line? Not quite. 65 thousandths of a second. Well done, Josh Benjamin. And now Sergei Podok and Adam Merchant. And this is going to be very close indeed as well. But Merchant's going to take 7th place. Podok decides not to do anything about it because Merchant is in the final 15 seconds of his push to pass. Crosses the line 7th, Podok in 8th, Delmas 9th, Demaged in 10th. Well, what a fast and furious drag race that was for 5th and 6th right at the line. But JT Smeaton takes another win and is one hand away from taking the Sim Racing for Simpletons crown here for Season 5 in Super Formula. He wins after 30 laps of the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve here in Montreal, Canada by 12.3 seconds. Gabriel Hopp gave it all he could, but only second best would be enough for the Brazilian. Kostek Soloway would round out P3 ahead of Jeff Groff. Joshua Benjamin edging out Felipe Sarkis by, on adjusted time, 62 thousandths of a second. Adam Merchant, Sergei Podok, Leo Dalmas and Dakota Demage round out the top 10. Christian Jasper finishes 2 laps down in the 444 car despite his early dramas. Elliott Court, after 16 laps, would end up retiring, having taken a big hit coming out of the final chicane and collecting himself in the Wall of Champions. Anthony Zitch also had double drama as well in his own right. Chris Sears and Carson Keane being the last of the classified drivers. Carson Keane not taking the start, did not even set a lap in qualifying, and Chris Sears was out on the opening tour.
Absolutely. There was also that drama right at the beginning, wasn't there, that caused the problem, and that's the thing for it on that one. But we've got Gabriel Hopp waiting for you here, Alex, for a nice little chinwag.
Yeah, let's bring the man in himself as let's see, there we go. Gabriel, you did everything you could. You tried to close in on JT, but he just seemed to be too strong tonight.
Yeah, I got too many penalties, but yeah, not the weekend that I wanted. Gonna be really difficult now if I want to win this championship. But yeah, I I tried.
I mean, Suzuka next week, it's the season finale. I think you're going to be about 9 or 10 points behind JT in the amended, updated standings. But Suzuka is a circuit that's going to be tough for everybody, yourself included.
Yeah. My first win was there, so I really like the circuit. But yeah, like not even if I win and he gets second, I still lose the championship. So I don't think it's even dependent. Like just it's not like on my hands only. But yeah, gonna try my best and see what happens.
Well, congratulations on your second place finish here at Canada, finishing 12 seconds behind JT at the end of it all. Is there anyone you want to thank before we let you go?
I want to thank. Honestly, it's kind of like the last few races, so I want to thank the admins today that they fixed the race. I thought it was not even going to happen, and yeah, hopefully my teammate can join the next one. He missed this one.
No worries. Well, Gabriel, congratulations on your second place finish. We'll see you at Suzuka 1 week from now for the finale for season 5.
All right. Yeah, see you guys. Thank you very much.
Big thank you there to Gabriel Hopp. Let's bring in our third place finisher, who has been doing some endurance racing earlier on this week, notably yesterday. Kostek Soloway joins us. Kostek, good to see you. Another strong finish towards the end of the season. It wasn't an easy one, though, was it?
No, it wasn't an easy one. Honestly, I didn't feel any grip today in terms of like the surface of the track or the tires. The tires were suddenly hot, and the surface of the track was a bit skatey, like icy, I would say. It was a bit challenging today, yeah.
But still, nevertheless, the third place finish here at Montreal. But we go to Suzuka next week. Is that a track that sort of ticks all the boxes for you?
Well, I wouldn't say that I love Suzuka like completely or anything like that. It's just an okay track for me. I'm a bit worried about the racing action there because of the dirty air and a lot of it in play, you know, when driving behind somebody. Like today, I felt like Montreal had the potential to actually like be possible to move up the standings maybe after the start, but I had a poor start. Some netcode with Adam Merchant, and you know, from that point, I was thinking maybe about the move on Hop, and it didn't work out. I had no grip. I could not feel the car, honestly, and I don't think in Suzuka it's going to be better than that.
Well, congratulations on your third place finish. It still keeps you third in the standings at the moment going into the final round next week. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to or thank for tonight before we let you go?
Yeah, thank you guys for holding the broadcast. Thanks everybody that showed up. I'm very sorry for anybody that got into this netcode incident at the start. I cannot do anything about it. I'm sorry, man. Yeah, and that's it, I guess.
Well, Kostek, thanks very much for your time, and we'll see you next week for the Suzuka season finale for Sim Racing for Simpletons. Well done tonight.
Yeah, thank you.
And last but by no means least, he now goes into the final round of the season next week with a 9-point advantage, maximum score, 32 points. JT Smeaton, welcome back in. Victory lane is yours, my friend. How are you feeling after that one? Because that was a superlative performance.
Thanks. First off, hello guys. Yeah, I
Hey,
mean,
man.
it wasn't easy for sure. I mean, this track is pretty physical. You got some big sausage curves that you gotta navigate. So, well, I did win by 12 seconds or so. I was definitely pushing every lap, just to get every bit of performance out of the car that I could. Especially with the fastest lap point as well, because every point in this championship counts. So yeah.
Yeah, but I think you've also had your peaks and troughs this season. Obviously, I think the biggest one was Spa-Francorchamps going into the bus stop chicane, and then having that over rotation. But you've come back fighting. You've got a maximum score, which is really, really pivotal to what happens next week in Suzuka. It's going to be an all-out battle between you and Gabriel, isn't it? Right up until the checkered.
Yeah, definitely for sure. Like I said earlier, every point in this championship counts. So yeah, I mean, he's been really consistent all season. He's by far been the most consistent driver of the season. If you look at his results, he's always been up in that top two, and he's always able to benefit from other people's misfortunes as well, which, I mean, props to him. He's had a really good season. But yeah, of course, this win was pretty important, especially after last week. Lost a lot of points last week, but I just have to put that behind me and focus on the race ahead and see what I can do for the rest of the season.
Well, JT, congratulations on the maximum score of 32 points tonight. Before we let you go, is there anyone you'd like to thank?
Yeah, first off, just want to give a big shout out to my family for always supporting you. And a big shout out to you guys. Nice to see you two as a duo again. I've missed that. But
Aw.
Our bromance in the room.
Romance. I'm going to go blushing, JT. I'm going to go blushing.
No, but well done on getting to victory lane here tonight, JT, and good luck. We'll see you in 7 days at the Suzuka season finale.
Appreciate you guys. See you next week.
Take care, man.
Well, it goes down to the wire next week. 9 points separate Gabriel Hopp and championship leader JT Smeaton. Suzuka, perfect place for a season finale, wouldn't you agree, JP?
Absolutely. Do I want to see another Senna Prost moment? Abso-blinking-lutely. That'll be fun as hell. But listen, let's just hope it finishes cleanly.
Indeed. It goes down to the wire at the Suzuka International Racing Course 7 days from now. So join us, same place, same time, live on the JP Broadcasting Network, as we'll bring you in sound and vision the season finale for the Sim Racing for Simpletons Super Formula League here in November of 2025. You've been in the company of Alex Goldschmidt and James Parfitt. Thank you so much to everyone that's been in the chat and also watched along. If you haven't already, please like, share and subscribe, and why not follow us on social media. If you do want to get involved with Sim Racing for Simpletons, there'll be the associated links in the description down below. Plenty of racing still to come in the coming days and weeks. So from us here, as I always like to say, race hard, race fair, and if in doubt, well, like here at Montreal, you better go flat out. We'll see you next week for the season finale. Good night for now.